Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW Dynamite post-show review. What a stack card we have for tonight. Darby Allin, the new World Champion, is defending the title against Tommaso Ciampa. And also we have Will Ospreay facing a former teammate of United Empire, Mark Davis. So let's get dive into it and talk about that. So we started off with the video package of Darby Allin shocking the world and winning the world title last week. We think we're going to hear from the new world champion, but MJF music hits and he storms to the ring calling Allin a dirty little cheat. After that, Shank referee Aubrey counted his shoulders down despite being up. MJF called the fans disrespectful, who thinks Allin could actually beat him in match when he fully prepared. MJF called himself the man who has beaten every top name pro wrestling has to offer. He beat Hangman Page and he kicked out of One Wicked Angel like it was freaking nothing. So MJF screamed he's the best wrestler in the world and doesn't give a shit about Darby Allin's match against Psycho Killer tonight and demands he comes out to give MJF his title back. So TNT champion Kevin Knight music hits and he comes to the ring and says, "Different cities, same Max, whining like a little bitch." Jet said that MJF gets to hate and be honest, doesn't Knight look clean with a title around his waist? So MJF mocks how eloquent of a speaker Knight is, going over his promo and how he thinks it's socially acceptable to be friends with Mike Bailey. And Max reminded Kevin Knight that he beat him with the Heat Seeker and that was an easy dub. If anyone deserves to be champion, it's MJF and MJF alone. But gives prop to the new TNT champion as well. And he said that Knight said he will slap MJF big ass nose off his face and send him packing while anyone can look at Knight and see a gold mine. So MJF questions what he would get out of that match if he wants to fight MJF. So Knight sold him on wanting the TNT title a little bit. If Knight wants to wrestle MJF, put the TNT title on the line, he's got himself a match. So Kevin Knight agrees to a match for the TNT title. We get the referee Bryce Ramsey runs to the ring, holds up the TNT title, but before the bell sounds, MJF bails up the ramp saying Kevin Knight will dance with the devil next week. So again, a very good promo segment, and the match is set for next week between Kevin Knight and MJF for the TNT title. It's gonna be a fantastic match, and I think so. Before MJF gets back that world title against Darby Allin, maybe at Double or Nothing, he will be getting a small program with Kevin Knight and for the TNT title as well. So I think it's a good way to engage him on Dynamite as well. So let's see what happens next week. Next up, backstage, we saw the Demand and Jericho talking about a six-man tag match on Collision that will happen this weekend. And Ricochet mouths that Jericho doesn't have teammates, all his bridges are burned, and no one wants to be teaming with Jericho. Then Jericho said that copyright infringement starts doing his Mr. Subliminal act and shows off his new t-shirt in the process that reads Jericho, the guy who gets his ass beat by the Demand every week that he shows up. So that was hilarious. Ricochet said he's going to beat Jericho again with the Rico Salt, and Jericho said he doesn't have to find partners who like him to team, just the two who don't like Ricochet. So again, it's interesting who will be the partners of Jericho. Let's see who teams up with Jericho. First action of the night is Brody King versus Leo Rush. This was a very fun clash of styles as Leo Rush continues to be fully committed to this Blackheart character and the crowd are into it. I just wish we had some vignettes on AEW TV about this character. I very much enjoyed his match with Pac last week and tonight kept up that trend. I hope we see more of Leo Rush and the Blackheart character develop on television as well. For the match, we saw Leo Rush tried Rush Hour, but King was ready and turned Rush inside out with a lariat. Rush galloped around the ring into a low tope, falling up with a huge crossbody of the top onto the floor, and then hit a frog splash to the back of King as well. Rush up top a third time rolls through a dive. King dove him down with the Bossman Slam. big corner cannonball leads to a Gonzo bomb for the pinfall victory. Post match, we saw King said he will be watching the main event and said if Ciampa wins, congratulations. And while he is proud of Darby, he is not proud enough to not to bring the violence. So again, he also watching the main event and challenging for the world title in the future. Renee approaches Tommaso Ciampa backstage and asks how tonight is going to go. Ciampa said he's been told his entire career he's not big enough, he is not the main event material. But Ciampa is a husband, father, son, brother, insane work ethics, and tonight is gonna be for the pro wrestling love that he have. So Ciampa said, "You have never seen a man more prepared for his moment, and tonight is gonna be that." And this was a brief but excellent promo from Ciampa as well. We saw Adam Copeland backstage talking about how he and Christian Cage deserves another tag title shot despite FTR denying them last week. Copeland said FTR are one of the best ever and said at Double or Nothing he challenged for a New York street fight between FTR and Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. If FTR wins, Copeland and Cage retire as a team, and Copeland knows what his answer would be, and if you are the best tag team of all time, knows what the answer should be. Only one way to prove it, as the balls are in FTR's court. So again, a very good match might be set up for a Double or Nothing. It's gonna be a cracker tag team match. Next up is Hikaru Shida versus Mina Shirakawa. First time meeting between these two, as it had a couple of spots. Very good chemistry between these two. I thought both worked really well with each other. The fans are so used to cheering Shida, they don't know how to react to this new heelish character she had going since her return. You can tell it's not a matter of it, but when she will have a falling out with Statlander, I do think it's not obvious for Shida to have played a part in Toni Storm's demise. So I think it's back to the drawing board for Shirakawa, though many believe she herself could be the prime suspect in all of this. But all in all, this was a very good match. Both ladies trade hair mares and standing drop kicks ending in a stalemate. Shirakawa does her slide and shimmy lured. Shida inducts a few kick. Then we saw knee breaker delivered by Shirakawa, who calls for a finger four, but Shida fought out going outside to create some distance. We saw both ladies up top and slugging it out. Finger four is applied, but Shida just got the ropes. Shirakawa started arguing with referee as Shida went to grab her kendo sticks. The distraction allowed Shida to hit her leaping knee and Falcon Arrow for the pinfall victory, as Statlander had what I can only describe as a quizzical look on his face. Shida hugged Statlander, who raised Shida's hand. So again, heelish kind of a character played by Shida in this match, and it's interesting to see how she develops her character. Next up, we saw Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. I genuinely thought this was one of the best TV matches of the year on Dynamite so far, as these two told such a great story, and the result made Davis look like an absolute beast. The neck continues to be Ospreay's downfall, and whether he has enough not just to win matches but make his way to the AEW World title. And I think so that was a fantastic showing for Mark Davis as well. Callis said he had heard that and Ospreay deserves what he is getting. Ospreay cleared the ring steps and drop kicked Davis into it. Davis wanted a powerbomb on the stage, but Ospreay slid out, hit a thrust kick and somersault dive from the stage. Blade fought off a back suplex, hung up Ospreay on the ropes and swung for the fences with a chop lariat combo that looks brutal. Both trade hook kicks and izugiris as Davis charged right into a desperation standing Spanish fly for a very close 2 count. Oscutter wanted by Ospreay, but Davis was ready with two backdrop drivers until another one from the apron back to the ring for a very close 2 count. Davis looking for the finish, leaping Uzugiri hits. Ospreay was there for a wild hidden blade for a very close 2 count. Hidden blade proper was shut down by Davis lariat. Ospreay got his feet on the ropes and Ospreay rolled to the apron where Davis spiked him with another pile driver. Violent one on the apron. That looks very brutal. Doc Samson checking on Ospreay now. And Ospreay told him he had no feeling in his arms. So the match is called off and Mark Davis wins the match. So that was a very strange finish, but I think so it's the story that we are getting of Osprey's neck and building him towards the world title for All In, and that is going to be the story in the coming weeks and months. Post match, we saw Davis dragged Osprey back into the ring and wanted to hit another pile driver, but we saw Davis turned it down as Moxley was in the ring, staring him down. That Titus rounds the ring, and Moxley and Claudio dragged Osprey to the floor and they carried him away through the crowd and out of the arena. So that was a very strange kind of a post match angle we saw, but I think so the story will continue between Osprey and that fighters. Backstage, we saw Renee with Alex Windsor talking about the loss to Tekla last week on Collision and Jamie Hayter not being cleared after Dynasty. Windsor said she will rip the legs off of the spider, and Persephone walks in and said she will have a god in her corner. She will team with Alex Windsor on Collision, and a match is set up between Persephone, Alex Windsor versus the Sisters of Sin. So again, let's see what happens next for Tekla and her challenger. Next up is the returning Samoa Joe in action. Loud reaction for the returning Joe against Cody Chun. Chun tries to fire up but was easily mouthed down by Joe, who lit up Chun with snap jabs. And Chun was going to on the apron top, wanted to hit a crossbody, but Joe walks away as he does in these kind of matches. Then hit the muscle buster and the easy win for Samoa Joe. So Joe walked up to the ramp and Hook was there to applaud him, and the two ops member fist pumped. So again, Joe is back on action, and I think so Joe might get a title shot against Darby Allin as well. That can be a fantastic match to watch. Then we saw Renee backstage is out in front of Jericho's locker room and asks if he has found the partners for Collision. Jericho said, as a matter of fact, he has. And then we saw Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley walking out of the locker room along with MVP as they nod to Jericho, and that was very interesting to see Hurt Syndicate teaming up with Chris Jericho, and the match is set up for Collision. So let's see what happens there. Tony Schiavone is in the ring and welcomes the new AEW World Champion Darby Allin to the ring to a big ovation, and "You deserve it" chants. Allin said this took everything he had his first match in Portland, as he did not think of what to say, as this could all end in minutes when he faces Ciampa next. This is a 15-minute ride. He sees what it does to the people. It goes draws egos, but this isn't for Allin, it's for his parents. He helped retired his fiancée he met on the school bus. MJF marches out to the stage screaming, "No, no, no, Allin doesn't deserve shit," and tells the champ to give his belt back. Allin simply says no and declines MJF's demand of a rematch. Allin said he's not giving MJF a rematch until he puts something on the line. So that is interesting to see what MJF will give Allin to put on the line. So in the meanwhile, Tommaso Ciampa music hits and out comes the challenger for tonight's main event, as MJF gets in his face, but Ciampa kisses him on the cheek and smirks and walking by. So it's the main event, Darby Allin Tommaso Ciampa for the AEW World title. My goodness, what a war this was. We have seen some excellent showings from Ciampa in his AEW run, but this one tops them all as he brought his A game. A fantastic way to kick off Allen's title run, as he wants to defend his title as long as his body holds up, which leads you to fully believe this won't be a long reign, but damn it, that will be fun to watch. I thought this topped the Ospreay versus Davis match earlier in the night, and Allen quickly went to the top, stood on the ring post and leapt from the ring, putting Ciampa through the announce table ring timekeepers area, and that was very, very brutal to see. Referee checking on Ciampa, who was bleeding buckets back inside. Bryce was checking on Ciampa, who crouched Allen in the ropes and put the boots to him. Pretty sick camera shot as well. Allen went for the coffin drop, but Ciampa rolled to the opposite apron. Allen took too long to capitalize as Ciampa hung him in the corner. Fired off the chops and hit an insane psycho dribble from the top rope. to the outside on the floor. That looks very brutal. Ciampa fires off chops and they only seem to wake Allen up, who got ahead of steam, but both collided with a dueling crossbody into the double down. Both men slowly rising and trading strikes. Allen struggled to his feet, leapt for a coffin drop only to fall into the clutches of Ciampa. Rear naked choke apply, and Allen rolled through into a flash pin attempt for a 2 count. Ciampa lowered the knee pad and hit his running knee strike again, but Allen kicked out. Project Ciampa connects and he clobbered Allen with the third knee, but again Allen was out at 2. Ciampa slowly goes for the Scorpion Deathlock. Allen kicks out, rolls through into the submission of his own. Ciampa scrambles to the ropes, but Allen repositions and Ciampa taps out. So that was a very good finish to the match. Post-match, we saw Ciampa shook Allen's hand and placed the world title on Allen's shoulder, hugging him before giving the champion his belt. And that was a very fantastic main event. We saw Brody King came out to the ring and said he was serious when he said he was proud of Allen, and he talked to the boss Tony Khan, and with Allen's permission, next week it's gonna be Brody King versus Darby Allin for the AEW World Championship, and Darby Allin accepts, and King raises Allen's hand with the graphic making it official on Dynamite next week. Boy oh boy, this is gonna be a fantastic title run for Darby Allin. Maybe a short one, but it's gonna be a fun ride to watch. This match, Tommaso Ciampa against Darby Allin, was fantastic, and next week it's gonna be Brody versus Darby for the world title, and it's gonna be another fantastic defense for Darby Allin as well. So I think so we are in for a very good world title ride with Darby Allin. So please guys, that's the end of the show folks. Please guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.